Kim Kardashian wrote a letter to her future self 10 years ago. It's now resurfaced, and fans are pointing out some predictions for 2025 that missed the mark. Kim Kardashian hoped that her sister Khloe would fall in love and marry someone great. The letter read, "I hope Khloe finds her happily ever after and falls madly in love with a really great guy because she really deserves it." Khloe had an off and on relationship with NBA star Tristan Thompson before they officially split in 2021, so it's safe to say that prediction didn't age well. A fan online said, "Why did the Khloe part make me sad?" While another echoed, "The Khloe part is hurtful." Another user even just said, "Sorry, Khloe." To give some background, Khloe and Tristan were first linked in 2016 after attending a party in Miami together. In 2018, they welcomed their first child, True Thompson. Tristan was then caught cheating on Khloe multiple times during her pregnancy. They split after it was revealed that he kissed Kylie Jenner's best friend Jordan Woods at a party. The pair then reconciled in 2020 and ended things in 2021. 6 months after they ended, it came to light that Tristan fathered a child with Marley Nichols while he and Khloe were actually still together. Just months later, in July 2022, Khloe revealed that the pair were expecting their second child, son Tatum, via surrogate. Now, the pair are currently co-parenting and claim there is no romantic connection between them, so Kim's prediction and dream unfortunately did not come true for Khloe. Maybe in the next 10 years, here's hoping. She also expressed her desire for sister Kourtney, saying, "I hope Kourtney is living her best life," and she also believed that Kourt would be done having babies by the time 2025 rolled around. She said she knew that Kourtney had a lot on her plate, and at the time, Kourt was the mother of Mason, Penelope, and Reign with her then boyfriend Scott Disick. Well, Kourtney has since broken up with the talentless creator, and I don't say that to be mean, like as in he has no talent. No, that's actually the name of his company. It's literally called Talentless. Anyway, we now know that Kourtney welcomed a son named Rocky with her now husband Travis Barker. Side note, it's funny because I always forget that Kim Kardashian and Travis Barker reportedly dated around 2006 and 2007, around the same time that Kim was working with Paris Hilton. Now, I won't get too much into it, but according to Travis's memoir, he wrote in it that he had a strong attraction to Kim and they would often go to dinner or lunch together. However, in this present day, Travis actually maintains that their relationship was strictly platonic and he's never hooked up with Kim, despite his ex-wife Shanna Mackler claiming that she caught him cheating on her with Kim. That is like very, very messy. Like, considering he is now married to Kourtney, I wonder if one day we will find out the truth around all that. Anyway, some people found, Kim's comment about Kourtney having kids hilarious. One person online said, "Kourtney having a baby currently is sending me into orbit," with another person saying, "Kourtney was not done with having babies." Kim's predictions for Kendall Jenner and Kylie Jenner were on point, as she guessed that Kendall would still be modeling while Kylie would continue being herself, whatever that was supposed to mean. Kim made a point to just say she hopes Kylie is doing whatever she wants since she doesn't like to take orders or directions, and honestly, that's kind of on point if you think about it. Kylie went off to have quite a remarkable decade from 2015 to now 2025, transforming from, a teenager to a successful entrepreneur and mother. She leveraged her massive social media following to launch her cosmetics company, Kylie Cosmetics, with her initial product, the Kylie Lip Kit, becoming like a huge success, selling out very quickly and establishing her as a force in the beauty industry. Kylie expanded her cosmetics line, introducing new products such as eyeshadows, highlighters, and skincare. In 2018, Forbes actually featured her on the cover of their America's Richest Self-Made Women's issue, estimating her net worth at about $900 million. In that same year, she actually welcomed her daughter Stormy Webster with her then partner Travis Scott and launched her skincare line, Kylie Skin. From 2023 to now, she's continued to just build her business empire, launching new products and collaborations while also, supporting various charitable causes, including children's hospitals and women's empowerment organizations. In 2022, she did welcome her son Wolf. Wait, no, actually his name got changed to Air just a day day after Stormi's 4th birthday. So, it's safe to say Kylie has done her big one. She's achieved a lot in 10 years. I honestly really can't hate on her at all. Kendall did exactly what Kim predicted as well. I mean, she established herself as a very successful model and walked the runway for top designers like Chanel, Gucci, and Versace. She became a regular fixture on the fashion circuit, appearing in campaigns for Estee Lauder, Calvin Klein, and Adidas. She even became the face and invested in a tequila brand called 818. She did have that little moment of backlash in 2017 for her appearance in a Pepsi commercial, that caused like a whole bunch of controversy, and I won't get into that, but all in all, she's been very consistent with participating in various, charity initiatives, and she continues to remain a prominent figure in the fashion and entertainment industry. Kim Kardashian's predictions for her sisters were well-intentioned, but fans debated whether these sentiments align with their current personal lives, especially given the ups and downs documented on their reality show. As for her brother Rob Kardashian, she actually didn't mention him, which is kind of shady, I don't know. When the video resurfaced in the new year, social media users called it so cute, but also didn't hesitate to point out the discrepancies. One person wrote, "Welp" at Kourtney and Khloe, and another noted that Kim included a photo of her then husband Kanye West, whom she did not actually mention by name in the footage. She did, however, talk about raising their now 11-year-old daughter North. She actually wrote, "I hope you remember that preteens are going through a lot. Junior high is a really tough time, so remember to have a lot of patience." This decade-old video for Glamour magazine offers a glimpse into the reality star's mindset a decade ago and her expectations for her future. Fans have had mixed reactions to the predictions, with some highlighting their accuracy and others reflecting on the failed predictions and on the unpredictability of life, even for someone as influential as Kim Kardashian. One person said, "It's interesting to see how even someone as calculated as Kim couldn't predict all the twists and turns of life," while another person added, "She dreamed big, and honestly, she has accomplished a lot more than most can imagine in 10 years. Kim not only makes predictions for her family, she also makes some about her career, personal growth, and even like some fashion choices. As a style icon, Kim touched on her hopes for fashion in 2025. She said, "Please tell me we're still not wearing those crazy sky-high heels." While high heels remain a staple in red carpet and high fashion settings, Kardashian has been seen embracing more practical styles in recent years, including Yeezy slides and other comfortable footwear options. She also expressed curiosity about beauty trends, questioning, whether contouring would still dominate the industry. And given the continued popularity of her beauty lines and the persistence of contouring as a staple in makeup routines, this prediction has stood the test of time. Kim envisioned her career evolving, expressing hope for continued success in her business venture. She said, "I hope you are still running successful businesses and have at least one more baby." The mother of four has certainly surpassed this goal with her ventures like Skims, KKW Beauty, and her leap into law and criminal justice reform. However, the letter also highlights her hope to have fully embraced a more private lifestyle. She said to her future self, "Remember to always take a little time for yourself and to just slow down." She also imagined herself happily married and raising her children in a stable family environment. She even asked the question to herself saying, "Are you still married to that perfect man?" Well, we all know how that one aged as she finalized her divorce from Kanye West in 2022. Dear Kim, when you read this, you'll be 10 years older in the year 2025. I hope this is where you are. That is actually how she began her 2025 prediction video, and at the time of filming it, Kim was actually pregnant with Saint, and she said to her future self, "When it comes to how you'll feel about your body, remember to be kind to yourself and enjoy how you look now because you're not getting any younger." Aside from her hopes and dreams of contouring skills being, a thing in the makeup world and her business is flourishing, she actually hoped as well that science would somehow invent a mysterious and delicious green juice to keep her tanned forever. She went on to say, "We both know that there are always so many haters out there, and I just hope that you can continue to ignore them and focus on everything positive." And she then added, "Call mom every single day," which I think is cute. She also asked some questions to herself saying, "Are you still filming Keeping Up with the Kardashians? Are you still decorating our dream home? Are selfies still a thing? Are the, terms bae and on fleek so 2015? If not, am I still on fleek?" Well, I mean, Keeping Up actually did come to an end and wrapped up its 20-season run on June 20th, 2021. The series finale was an emotional goodbye, with the family members, reflecting on their time on the show and the memories they've made. The show's conclusion actually marked an end of an era, but But that didn't last too long, as they did return to reality TV with their new Hulu series, The Kardashians, in April of 2022. Kim also jokingly said to herself, "If you haven't broken the 100 billion mark on Instagram followers, I will be very disappointed in you." Womp womp. So while that prediction or dream didn't come true, you should know that she actually has a whopping 359 million followers, which is like still a lot, and more than she had in 2015, which was around 42 million. So there's that. The time capsule video is absolutely going viral, and it's left many people wondering, what's next?
Ray J has a take on why we might not be hearing more from victims of Puff Daddy and the parties. So he claims that he knows of multiple celebrities who are doing everything they can to hide their connections to the music mogul. And the newsworthy part of this is that he thinks he knows how they're doing it. He said, and I'm quote, "I'm hearing about artists paying victims to keep their names out of it." So there's this new documentary called The Downfall of Diddy, Inside the Freak-Offs. It's on Tubi, and he said, and I quote, "Somebody has a truth. Somebody pays you to keep it quiet, and hopefully that money you got paid secures your happiness while you watch the lie continue to succeed." Also, the documentary totally free, so worth the watch. When asked about whether alleged victims are approaching celebrities connected to these alleged crimes and asking for hush money, he said it's the other way around. It's, "I'll give you money, please don't talk." Yeah, the classic hush money makes things go away tactic. So as a longtime friend of Puff Daddy himself, Ray J has maintained that he and many others were completely caught off guard by the shocking allegations that came out after the September arrests. He said, "We've never seen the stuff that's being said and the stuff that people are finding out." He said, "I've never been in the rooms that people are talking about, and I never knew they existed." The singer also speculated about why other friends of Puffy have yet to speak out about the allegations, saying, "I think a lot of people are in shock, a lot of people are dealing with it in their own way. I hear people aren't coming out because they either suspected this about him or they don't want to have any connection to him." And then I guess there's another group who's worried they're going to get pulled in. So during the interview, Ray J appeared visibly uneasy as he described how some of the victims are being approached before any demands are made, because a lot of people are reaching out to victims before they've even asked for anything, trying to handle this quietly. He also mentioned that he thinks some stars might view him as a potential vessel for leaks about their participation in these alleged crimes, saying now they're going to be mad, without naming which celebrities he's referring to. "I've said too much, it happens all the time, people pay off victims to keep the truth quiet." He compared it to the catch and kill practice in media, where stories are suppressed to prevent them from going public. He claimed that a lot of celebrities are fearing videos are going to surface that could allegedly feature Puff Daddy in compromising situations with celebrities. He said, and I quote, "They fear the worst, that those videos could ruin them." Now, his involvement in the documentary has raised questions about the extent to which some will go to protect their reputations and distance themselves from these alleged actions. And although Ray J has been very vocal, he did admit his involvement has not come without conflict. He mentioned that his comments have strained relationships with Puff Daddy's family, leading to heated exchanges, saying, "I said some things that were out of bounds, I wasn't proud of myself," and he acknowledged that it has caused friction, but he said, "But I feel I needed to stand up for myself." Now, attorney Tony Busby also appeared in the documentary and revealed that he sent a demand letter to various high-profile people with an ultimatum: pay up or face a lawsuit, and he warned that anybody involved in covering up such activities could face legal repercussions, saying, "If you were present, if you saw something and did nothing, you too are liable." This was a word of caution. He said a lot of folks risk full exposure if the truth emerges. Well, I guess when the truth emerges. So on November 10th, by the way, 50 Cent shared a post on Instagram that showed Ray J speaking about the allegations during a recent appearance on News Nation, saying, "They saying people at the church doing it." Now, 50 Cent insisted that the clip may have been part of the reason that Ray almost got roughed up recently. He said, and I quote, we're gonna try and quote this, folks, "Oh, now I see why they was gonna pack Ray J out. He wild and bro. It feels like he's saying this because Diddy down bad. I'ma harm Ray and tell him to chill. LOL." Now, these comments come on the heels of reports that Ray J nearly got into a scuffle with Puff Daddy's sons, Quincy, Christian, and Justin, at a recent Halloween party. I think it was on October 26th. According to witnesses, the trio ran down Ray J in the parking lot of a party hosted by influencer Tara Electra, and things got heated, but Chris Brown of all people reportedly stepped in to defuse the situation. I know, I'm shocked too. Ray J has since talked about the incident and claimed that the brothers and 5 other people pressed him before Chris Brown saved the day. I never thought I'd say those words, but here we are. Speaking in an interview, Ray J claimed he was essentially ambushed just trying to leave the function, and there was like 8 people around him. So later, when he popped up on Nicki Minaj's Instagram Live, he gave even more insight into that, telling her that though they didn't physically fight, he had to stand his ground during the altercation because apparently this wasn't the first time that one of the sons had rolled up on him, saying, and I quote, "No, we didn't have a fight. We had a big argument right outside the club. This time I think I got loud and got aggressive. But it was the 3rd time this happened, so I felt like I needed to stand up for myself." He also added, "Even though I was talking, SHIT, and we were having a lot of crazy words, I was walking that way to avoid the issue. So that's what happened, and it's unfortunate." Ray J then went on to detail how Justin tried to engage with him at a hotel over his comments about the current legal stuff, but nothing happened. He said, "Justin said, let's take a fade. I don't like what you're talking about with my pops." And they tried to be arrogant. It was in another dimension. And he said, "I feel sad that violence is at the forefront of this, and we shouldn't do that." Now, several stars' past comments about all of these infamous parties have been re-examined in the wake of the 14-page indictment, which was unsealed in September and alleged that Puff Daddy hosted these elaborate and produced performances called freak-offs. Puffy and his business associates would allegedly use force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended acts with commercial workers. Now, Puffy pleaded not guilty to the charges he faced in September and has very much denied the allegations against him. I know recently he proposed a new $50 million bail package that was backed by his Florida mansion, and he's hoping he's gonna win his release from jail because he's been held for, I think, 8 weeks at this point on criminal charges. And he did plead not guilty to the charges that he coerced and harmed women for years with the help from a network of associates and employees, while also silencing victims through blackmail and violence, including kidnapping, arson, and physical harm, which is a heck of a laundry list of things. So as allegations continue surfacing about the oh-so-infamous parties, it might actually be a while before the public, yep, that's us folks, gets all the details, because attendees were reportedly forced to sign NDAs if they went to these parties. According to sources, these NDAs were pretty standard. It said that any party attendees could not share information related to the disgraced music mogul himself, the partners, family members, friends, business associates. You also can't photograph, film, or record Puff Daddy or anybody around him without written consent, and it very specifically named social media platforms. You can't post the photos or the videos of Puffy without permission. So pretty standard stuff. Also, and this is kind of important folks, it says, do not give interviews, write books, or discuss anything about Puffy or things seen at his parties. So really, even though it's boilerplate, it does cover anything that could get the rapper into trouble. Don't worry folks, it does expire. The signed document is valid for the length of Puffy's life, plus 20 years or 70 years, whichever is longer. Sure, yeah, it's boilerplate and it's gonna take a hot minute, but it'll get out eventually. The basic gist, anybody who attended those parties needs the written consent to share anything, which I guess is why they're keeping mum. Granted, the NDA didn't keep authorities out of Puffy's business. We all know things are leaking out, including the removal of his key to the city of Miami. They were like, yeah, no, absolutely not. He was first awarded that back in 2015. They also got rid of Puff Daddy Day. Miami said nope, and I think New York also once upon a time gave him a key to this city, and they've also asked for it back. Miami Beach's mayor, Steve Miner, voted unanimously on getting rid of the key. It was a whole thing. So going back to New York, the mayor there, it's a big deal if the mayor is asking for your key back, folks. He sent a letter being yeah, no, and for that one, Puffy obliged, returned it. I know Howard University revoked his honorary degree. His ownership of Revolt was rescinded.
Kim Kardashian is feuding with one of her sisters again. She's been called out by Khloe with her shady Instagram posts, as the pair have been fighting on the new episode of The Kardashians. Now, in the most recent episode of The Kardashians, the sisters clashed over Khloe's parenting, with Kim suggesting that Khloe's 2 kids rule her life. Now, this came about after Khloe turned down a trip to Paris for Fashion Week because she wanted to be home with her kids. Now, last week's episode also documented their family vacation to Aspen, which took place in January. On the trip, Kim called out Khloe for FaceTiming her daughter during their group dinner. Now, Kim again was annoyed with this. Kim said in a confessional, "Here we go again. She just is so stuck on what's going on at home that she can't have a good time," before later describing Khloe constantly FaceTiming her kids as annoying. Several viewers of the reality show have since called Kim out for shaming Khloe, and fans have actually done the math and figured out that Khloe was seemingly shading Kim on Instagram around the very same time that they were quietly clashing. Now, back in January and February, around the same time as the Aspen trip, Khloe shared multiple quotes that are seemingly aimed at Kim. 20 years from now, the only people who'll remember if you worked late are your kids, one quote read. Raise your children to be impressed by kindness, loyalty, and humility, not just wealth, possessions, and power, read another. Then in 2007, Kim and her then boyfriend, Ray J, tape was leaked online, and it's how Kim rose to fame. Now, Kim sued Vivid Entertainment for ownership of the tape. In late April 2007, Kim dropped the suit and settled for $5 million. Now, the blame was put on Ray J for releasing the video, but after all these years, Ray J maintains his innocence. He said, "I've sat in the shadows for over 14 years, allowing the Kardashians to use my name, to abuse my name, make billions of dollars over a decade and a half, talking about a topic I've never really spoken about. I've never leaked anything. I've never leaked a tape in my life." Now, he claims that Kim and Kris negotiated the release of the tape in the early 2000s. Now, Kris apparently watched 3 different Ray J and Kim and chose to leak the one that gave her daughter a better look. Now, if that's true, that is just gross. Now, Kris Jenner has denied playing a role in getting her daughter tape released and even took a lie detector test on the James Corden show, but Ray J is still adamant that they did help. Now, looking back, Ray J said he is embarrassed of the tape. Now, Kim's whole relationship with Kris Humphries was something else. They dated for 6 months before they got married. Now, Kris wasn't really into all the fame, but Kim wanted it all. Now, their relationship made them a lot of money. The reality star was paid $1.5 million by people for their wedding photos alone. They also got $30,000 for their engagement announcement and another massive chunk of cash from both her bridal shower and her honeymoon pictures. Not to mention the bonus check they got from airing their wedding on Keeping Up. Now, afterwards though, after 72 days, Kim filed for divorce. Now, Kris felt bamboozled and cited fraud as the reason for wanting an annulment. Kim's paperwork stated irreconcilable differences, and she later discussed the marriage on her show and revealed her mother encouraged her to run on her wedding day if she needed to. Now, following their split, Kris's lawyer told the Los Angeles Fraud Court that Kim had no intention of proceeding with this marriage. It was basically a tactic for the benefit of her show and to make money. But Jonathan Jackson, who worked with the reality star between 2007 and 2009, said that the pair's union was a publicity stunt. Speaking on Good Day LA back in 2011, Jackson said, 2 weeks prior to her wedding, she knew it was not something she wanted to do. Unfortunately, they were obligated to honor contracts with the E! Network, which had TV rights. Otherwise, they would have owed a lot of people a lot of money. Now, after their divorce and sketchy relationship, Kris exposed some of Kim's secrets. Back in 2013, Kris revealed that the proposal for the show was not a surprise and that Kim was aware of it, so the scene where she seemed moved and surprised in is super fake. In fact, Kris went further to say that they had to reshoot the proposal because Kim didn't like her reaction. Kim told Kris how, where, and when to propose. It was absolutely no surprise to her whatsoever, a source told Radar Online. First of all, Kris proposed in the middle of the day, and he had to do that because it would create better lighting to capture the moment. Now, Kim looked surprised but knew it was happening. She was in full hair and makeup, and she's always in on the show. But all of his ideas were shot down by production officials and Kim. Now, another person she got married to was Kanye West. They got married and had 4 children together, and they were happy until things started to go south in 2020. In July 2020, Kanye acknowledged the possibility of Kim ending their marriage, and later that month, he wrote on Twitter that he had been attempting to divorce Kim. Now, he also wrote that the Kardashian family was attempting to lock him up. In January 2021, CNN reported that the couple were discussing divorce, and a month later, Kim filed for divorce, agreeing to joint custody of their children and declining spousal support from each other. The divorce settlement was finalized in November 2022, and after they divorced, Kim dated Pete Davidson, which Kanye did not like, and he took a lot of digs at Pete and Kim. He posted online about it saying, "You are lying and are liars. Y'all basically kidnapped Chicago on her birthday so she couldn't remember her father not being there, so there. Also, I should see my children 100% of the time, but since there's a separation, it should have been 50% of the time. Y'all wouldn't have played with Donda like that in Jesus' name." Now, the Kardashians, for their part, have repeatedly denied Kanye's claims about Chicago's birthday, and after this rant, Khloe commented on Kanye's posts, begging him to please stop tearing Kimberly down, adding that she and her family have had enough of the false birthday narrative. Now, at the 2022 Met Gala, Kim arrived in the iconic Happy Birthday Mr. President Marilyn Monroe dress. Now, Kim said the idea of wearing the late actress's dress felt like the perfect representation of America. She was granted special access to wear it as it is kept in a museum, and people did not like this. They thought it was unfair and in poor taste to take the dress of an icon and have Kim wear it. Now, besides that, Kim revealed that she had to lose 16 pounds in 3 weeks in order to fit into the gown. She said, "It was such a challenge, it was like a role, I was determined to fit in it. I'd wear a sauna suit twice a day, run on the treadmill, completely cut out all sugar and all carbs, and just eat the cleanest veggies and protein. I didn't starve myself, but I was so strict." Following this, many slammed Kim for appearing to promote a toxic and dangerous mindset about body image and weight loss. She said, "To me, it was like, okay, Christian Bale can do it for a movie role and that is acceptable. It's all the same to me. I wasn't saying, hey everyone, why don't you go lose this weight in a short period of time." Now, her losing all that weight in a short period of time though really rubbed people the wrong way. And finally, we have Kim's short-lived feud with Chloe Grace Moretz. In July 2016, when Kim had her own celebrity feud going on with Taylor Swift, she posted her supposed proof on Snapchat of Taylor lying, and fans went crazy. This annoyed Chloe Grace Moretz though, who tweeted, "Everyone in the industry needs to get their heads out of a hole and look around and realize what's actually happening in the real world. Stop wasting your voice on something so petulant and unimportant." Minutes later, jumping to her big sister's defense, Khloe Kardashian responded with a collage of pictures. Now, the first picture was of Chloe Grace at the beach, and the next photo was a photo of an unknown blonde-haired woman who she presumably thought was Chloe in the sea suffering an embarrassing and revealing bikini mishap. Now, Khloe Kardashian captioned the image, "Is this the hole you're referring to?" at Chloe G. Moretz, and Chloe straight away tweeted back, "Fact check, first photo is me filming my movie Neighbors 2, the second photo is some girl who was wrongly photographed." But this feud didn't end there though. In 2016, Kim turned heads for sharing a full frontal nude selfie with only black bars to protect her modesty on Twitter. She captioned the photo with, "When you're like, I have nothing to wear, LOL." Then, out of nowhere, Chloe responded to the picture by commenting, "I truly hope you realize how important setting goals are for young women, teaching them we have so much more to offer than just our bodies." Now, Kim didn't take this lying down and replied back, "Let's all welcome at Chloe G. Moretz to Twitter since no one knows who she is. Your nylon cover is cute, boo."
Well, it finally happened. Kim Kardashian became more confusing to the public than she already was. Kim was recently revealed to be the cover model for GQ's Men of the Year, sporting a black blazer, striped shirt, patterned necktie, and a bag of original Cheetos. Yeah, that last one confused me a bit too. Actually, if I'm being honest, this entire thing confuses me, and it turns out I'm not alone. In the few days that have passed since the cover made its way around the internet, there has been so much confusion surrounding this magazine cover. Comments beneath the Instagram posts range from, "Why is Kim Kardashian on this cover? Is she a man?" to, "This is a disgrace to all mankind." Of course, there are a lot of Kardashian fans who praise Kim for appearing on the cover. So the answer as to why Kim is on the cover as a Man of the Year is actually because of her latest business venture. Skims is a business that Kim got off the ground in 2019, and she claims that the company was born from a necessity. She was always having trouble finding clothes that matched her skin tone, quickly realizing that the companies that she would buy for would only sell their clothes in like 2 or 3 shades. According to Kim, she would literally buy white shapewear and toss them into a tub filled with coffee and tea, and that liquid was then bottled and then sold at auction. No, that didn't happen, but someone would definitely buy that. The world is terrible. Kim partnered up with power couple Jens and Emma Gred to create more options for women. The brand has been popular, featuring undergarments of all shapes and sizes and over 10 skin tones. In 2022, the company was named as one of the most influential companies ever. Skim recently announced that they would be expanding their clothes to include menswear, boxers, briefs, and beyond. That's a great name for a store, please don't take that from me. Kim being featured on the cover of a magazine celebrating the Men of the Year makes a little bit more sense when you realize that she may be on the verge of revolutionizing men's underclothes. The reception from the cover has been mainly negative, with people simply being upset that a woman is on a men's magazine cover. Forgetting about gender for a moment, the magazine celebrates things that men have done in 2023, and while there were a lot of good things that happened this year, there was also a lot of really shady shady, bad stuff. Also, whoever decided that a bag of Cheetos would make Kim look more manly is clearly not manly themselves, man. Give her a bag of Jack Link's beef jerky teriyaki style and then we'll talk. Cheetos are okay, but I don't know about you, I hate it when there's dust on my hands when I'm eating a snack. Skims has started to release lots of men's styles, including leggings, t-shirts, socks, briefs, all the fun stuff. The company is body positive and is releasing clothes in all shapes and sizes, so yeah, I'm gonna buy myself an extra large pair of boxers because I've got all the junk in this trunk. The prices are actually relatively decent, with the most expensive clothes being in the mid-50s, when the low end being in the mid-teens, so not too bad. Kim Kardashian's always been a public figure seen as one thing or another. She is either public enemy number one or just an innocent bystander. When it comes to being on the cover of a magazine for men, it's not a big deal. The photo is weird, again, Cheetos, not that manly. Take it from me, I'm wearing a Hamilton the Musical hoodie, the manliest musical ever made. Bam. Considering the things that men have done this year, it's fair. I feel like every other week there is a man in the news for doing something terrible. Justin Timberlake is at the top of the canceled list thanks to Britney Spears' memoir. Jonah Hill had his career called into question when an ex shared screenshots of controlling conversations between themselves. Danny Matheson, the guy from That 70s Show, was arrested and charged for doing terrible, heinous things to women. I could literally go on and on about the scandals involving men from this year, and I probably will in a separate video. But today, we're talking about Kim Kardashian and her calculated business moves. Kim and her family have actually tried time and time again to keep their fortune stable in an ever-changing world. Most of those ventures have worked out, but there have been a handful that just failed miserably, so let's chat about them. So for starters, the Kardashian crew actually tried to get their very own credit card off the ground. The Kardashian card with a K, cause Kardashians, they're so clever. The card was scrapped before it took off because the few people who actually signed up for it received outlandish fees every time they used it. Not to mention the card was aimed at young people who couldn't afford the fees and simply wanted to tell their friends that they had a Kardashian-themed credit card. Another failed venture that really needs to be mentioned is Quick Trim. Quick Trim was a product released in 2009 and it absolutely tanked. Khloe, Kim, and Kourtney got together and became the spokeswomen for a diet supplement because, you know how reliable those are. By 2012, the three were named in a $5 million class action lawsuit against Quick Trim, accusing them of false and deceptive marketing. Unfortunately, if people want to lose weight fast, this is not the way you do it. A lot of people know it rarely works. Walking for an hour a day is much better for your health. The sisters also partnered to create a line of self-tanning kits that included a self-tanning gel. Yeah, you were supposed to take sticky orange paste and lather it all over yourself to get that Kardashian glow. Yeah, no one was willing to slime themselves up to look like that, so the product was quickly discontinued and taken off the shelves. In 2011, the family decided to open a store in Las Vegas, Nevada to sell merchandising to casino goers. You know, people who probably just lost all of their money, give them a Kim keychain, they'll be fine. Problem solved. Sometimes they would actually appear at the store for meet and greets, but that was once in a while. So the store lost its novelty and they were forced to close down in 2014. Oh, and also they tried to be authors for a hot minute. It's worth mentioning that two Kardashian clan members decided to team up for this novel. Rebel City of Indra is a fictional story taking place in a world of the far future in the city of Indra, a world with two faces, a floating paradise and a nightmare on the ground. The book was written by the team of Kylie and Kendall Jenner and was meant to be the next big young adult book like Maze Runner or The Hunger Games. That's something they actually wanted to happen. Instead, what the world received was a literal pile of trash that apparently contains interwoven stories that make no sense, a really bad and cringy twist, and it's only 342 pages long. Only. This steampunk-centric novel was not the fantasy feature for the young Jenners that they were hoping. The reviews for this book are dreadful. Even people who have been following this family since day one didn't like it. I unfortunately have not had the chance to read it yet before I wrote this part of this script, so please be kind to me if it is a good book. I am going to buy it very soon. I just want to know how terrible it truly is and if it's worth adapting into a miniseries. I can't imagine it is, but it might. While some of their business ventures have failed, there is no denying that there have been a lot of successes as well. But even those successes are caked with deception and evil. For instance, Kylie Jenner, the youngest of the Kardashian clan, is extremely successful for her age. In 2019, she made the cover of Forbes magazine as the youngest self-made billionaire ever, following the successful partnership between cosmetic brand that she made and Ulta, a beauty salon company. This would allow the brand, previously only available online or in random pop-ups, to actually be placed on shelves in Ulta's 1,000 plus stores, which is unfortunate because the true nature of where these products come from is so dark, it's so bad. A lot of employees at the factory that mix and package these makeups and beauty products have reported that they were never given any proper safety equipment to do that job. They were only given hairnets, lab coats, safety goggles, which meant their hands and faces were completely exposed. Workers would regularly report migraines, chemical burns on their hands, all the fun stuff. And if that's not bad enough, they were also forced to be human test subjects for Kylie's new products. Now, she's very proud of her company not testing things on animals, but can we agree that people, that's just way worse? You shouldn't do that. But Kylie isn't even close to the meanest of the bunch. Kim is an absolute menace to the people that work for her. This woman has 4 kids, a skincare line, Skims, now men and women styles. She did law school, co-founded an equity team, hopped on the podcast train, so many things, in addition to filming the new show that she has on Hulu. So you might be asking yourself, how does this one woman do all of that by herself? Of course she doesn't. She pays people to do it for her. She has multiple assistants and nannies who help her stay above this overwhelming workload, but she's been known to treat them as lesser than herself. For instance, on several occasions, Kim and her daughter North would go to lunch with their nannies, but Kim made her not only sit at a separate table away from them, but she is known to make her nannies walk 10 feet away from them at all times, unless she has multiple people with her at once, and then she likes to make them walk in like a flying V formation because it looks cool. If they walked near her or attempted to walk side by side, she apparently blows up on them. Needless to say, she's had many nannies over the years and has probably made them all cry at least once. But while Kim might not be the best boss in the world, it's actually Kourtney who's known as the absolute worst. According to former nannies, Kourtney was by far the worst Kardashian. Not only is she a neat freak, needing every single thing to be exactly where it should be, but she's also known for being surprisingly cheap. She even once called a grocery store while she was still shopping to compare the price of a chicken breast, because if anyone needs that extra 99 cents, it's Kourtney Kardashian. But this isn't the worst thing she's ever done. At one point, Kourtney's daughter had bitten a nanny so hard that she had to quit, but instead of letting it go and taking responsibility for not teaching her daughter how to act properly, she berated the nanny, telling her that she should have said something to her daughter. Because yes, blame the woman that you're paying to raise your kids instead of the kid itself, who probably has abandonment issues, Kourtney. While the Kardashians have had problems with their staff individually, there seems to be one specifically toxic trait that this family shares as a unit. They don't like to pay people. Former employees have come forward over the years calling out the family for not paying them fair wages and no overtime. The Kardashians don't cover basic things. Basic expenses like gas, food, rent, everything is out of the employee's pocket with zero money coming back to them. To make matters worse, the Kardashians would not pay them on a set amount of days, meaning that you just got paid when you got paid and had to deal with it. You would think with the family being one of the richest in the entire world that they would at least pay people that help them run their lives. While they have a massive staff of people cooking their food, folding their clothes, and raising their kids, they barely even acknowledge their existence. Just imagine what would happen if the staff decided to walk out on this family. They would crumble in less than a day.
First up, Kanye West. Kim and Kanye were one of the most hated couples during the almost 7 years that they were together. They took their relationship public in the spring of 2012, and after that, it was just mayhem. Kanye, who had been pursuing her for some time, name-dropped his future partner in his 2012 single, Cold, saying, "And I'll admit, I had fell in love with Kim around the same time she had fell in love with him." By June of 2012, Kim was calling herself a proud girlfriend, and by the end of the year, she was pregnant with the couple's first child, Northwest, who was born in June of 2013. Kanye proposed to Kim in October of 2013, and the couple wed in Florence, Italy soon after. While they were together, Kim and Kanye had more than their fair share of cringy couple moments. Everyone remembers the music video for Bound 2 because it left a lot of people feeling uncomfortable. So during that video, Kanye rides a motorcycle through the desert, and he's joined by Kim, who's completely in the nude. In every single shot. Like, every single one. They're either kissing or caressing each other, which is nearly impossible to watch without cringing. And while their relationship was messy, the divorce was even messier. When Kim moved on with Pete Davidson, Kanye was extremely threatened. So one of the things that Kanye did to mess with Pete was he posted a photo of a fake New York Times cover on Insta with the headline reading, "Skeet Davidson is dead at age 28. Then he made a social media post saying, "Hold your spouse close, make sure they know how much you love and appreciate them, because there is a skeet lurking in every dirty alleyway waiting to help destroy your family. And walk around in Calvin jeans around your children." So after the divorce, it seems like Kanye set out to ruin Kim's love life. Kim and Ray J met when she was working for his older sister Brandy in 2005. Ray said, "To be honest, the whole thing started off wrong. We'd known each other for a while before we dated, and there was a mutual attraction, but she was married. She let me know she wanted to get with me, and after that, I kind of felt obligated to be with her." Last year, Kris Jenner went on the Late Late Show with James Corden, where she was strapped to a lie detector and interviewed about the infamous tape that was released in 2007 of Kim and Ray J. Kris denied the years-long speculation that she was involved in its production, and once the results came back, it seemed as though she was telling the truth. Of course, Kim kept up with this narrative too, but neither of them had expected Ray J to respond to the interview. He appeared on Instagram Live with a full presentation to prove that she was lying. He showed screenshots of the text messages that Kanye West had sent him, asking for the original tapes because he had wanted to give them back to Kim. In the messages, Kanye asks if there's a time where the two can meet or talk to discuss the matter further. In a response, Ray J said, "I got 2 kids and a tech company. Why would I involve myself in this? I'm so past this, bro. I'm assuming you know the full story from 05, right? How it happened, who brokered the deal, who put it all together, etc." This is when Ray J made the most shocking revelation ever. He said, "Kris Jenner is the one who made us shoot the second tape in Santa Barbara." He then claimed that Kris orchestrated the filming of the last tape and even watched them to decide which was best. Alrighty, time for Pete Davidson. So this coupling happened on the set of Saturday Night Live. Kim later said that she felt a spark when they shared a kiss during their Aladdin comedy sketch. But people started cringing at the relationship when Kim started spilling a few too many details of their bedroom life. While some people appreciated the honesty, others thought it was a bit too much. Then there was the tattoos. Fans thought it was a huge red flag that Pete had tattoos of Kim and her 4 kids. Now that they've broken up, it seems like it was a poorly thought out permanent decision. One of the tattoos Pete had dedicated to Kim said, "My girl is a lawyer," which he got to celebrate her passing the baby bar. He also got the names Aladdin and Jasmine with an infinity symbol between them, which is that reference to that first kiss on SNL. And the 4 children? Yeah, it was the initials, reading KNSCP. But of course, Kim didn't get any cheesy couple tattoos done of herself, and that really says a lot about the differences between them. One of the biggest complications of this relationship was Kanye West. Like I mentioned before, he was just so threatened by the idea of his ex-wife moving on with Pete that he made it his mission to try and make his life hell. As a result, fans felt bad that Pete had to go through all of that because you could tell it was really putting a strain on his mental health. While it was great that he did stand by Kim during all the Kanye drama, clearly at some point it became too much for anybody to have to put up with. As Perez Hilton reported, in 2017, Kim Kardashian was the very first girl that Nick Lachey was spotted on a date with after his split from Jessica Simpson. It was only one date, but of course, conveniently, they were photographed by paparazzi on said date, which does make it seem like it was a PR relationship. One of the editors who commented on the story said, "That was one of the early stunts that backfired. We tried to get her to F Nick so she could be a celebrity girlfriend. She would literally bake him a basket of muffins and try to get him to come to her place, and he wouldn't go. So they went to dinner somewhere in the North Valley and we had paparazzi there. But our paparazzi told all the other paparazzi, so it was a mess." That's their version of the events. But interestingly enough, Kim Kardashian's team denies this, and it's unlikely they would ever admit to one of their relationships being fake. Kris Humphries proposed to Kim on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians after 6 months of dating, and the two wed in August of 2011. 72 days later, she filed for divorce. Kim eventually told Andy Cohen that she knew their marriage was doomed during the honeymoon, but she went through it because of the pressure from getting older. She was 30 years old at the time and thought, "I'd better get married." That 72-day marriage had certainly shown signs that it was going to end quickly. Like a few days before Kim divorced Kris, I think it was day 68, the couple was spotted arguing in their car while out on a dinner date in Hollywood. The newlywed couple was photographed heading back to Kim's car after dinner, and you could see the tension in the air. Kris looked fed up, and Kim was giving her new husband the death stare while yelling and waving her hands at him as the argument was escalating. This very public fight was kind of indicative that their relationship was on the rocks, because, well, that same year, Kim went to file for divorce and get the marriage annulled. The LA Times even reported that Kim had only married him to increase ratings on Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The best part was that Kris asked for a $7 million divorce settlement from his ex-wife, otherwise twice he threatened to make her endure an ugly public trial. But the NBA star ended up walking away with literally nothing. When speaking about their marriage, Kris said, "Look, I should have known what I was getting into. I was definitely naive about how much my life was going to change. But the one thing that really bothers me is whenever people say my marriage was fake. There's definitely a lot about that world that is not entirely real, but our actual relationship was 100% real. When it was clear that it wasn't working, what can I say? It sucked." Nick Cannon and Kim were briefly an item. In fact, he may have accidentally torched his relationship with Mariah Carey by recounting this fact in 2014 when he said, "It's been a lot of people since me." A few months later, it was reported that the admission reportedly humiliated Mariah Carey, and that's when the relationship between her and Nick Cannon never recovered. The two of them filed for divorce in 2014, and that was finalized 2 years later, but things ended poorly also between Kim and Nick, because the two of them were seen ignoring each other when they turned up at the same fashion event. And in this case, it's kind of clear that she was the one who dodged the bullet. Since 2011, Nick has had 11 children with 6 different women, and I think he at least has one more on the way. It's a lot of kids. Kim and Reggie Bush dated off and on from 2007 to 2010. There was a bit of controversy about the two of them reuniting, and apparently up until her 2011 wedding to Kris Humphries, Reggie was still pining for Kim and sending her texts and voicemails telling her she's making a mistake and that he's the one for her. But things between them were clearly not meant to be. A few years later in 2012, Amber Rose went on to claim that Kim cheated on Reggie with Kanye and called her a homewrecker. She said, "Kim was one of the main reasons why me and Kanye are not together. She's a homewrecker. They were both cheating on me and Reggie with each other. What an absolute mess." It was reported in April of 2010 that famed soccer star Cristiano Ronaldo and Kim had hooked up during her vacation to Madrid, and they met at an event at the Beverly Hills Hotel. Sadly, by August, he'd moved on, and newspapers everywhere were shooting down rumors that he and Kim were back together. Although it's worth noting that this is not the only sports star she's had a fling with. Kim and Tom Brady have become pretty friendly recently, as it was said that Kim is looking to buy a vacation home in Tom's neighborhood at Baker's Bay and Gulf Ocean Club. This neighborhood is an exclusive members-only residential community in the Bahamas, by the way. She flew to the Bahamas just recently and was spotted touring the resort. A source close to her told Page 6 that Kim and Tom are friendly. She phoned him and asked for his advice on Baker's Bay. She's very familiar with the community, and she's been eyeing property there for quite some time. Other insiders have since come forward saying that they do know each other, but they aren't involved romantically. But hey, if she moves to the neighborhood, maybe their friendship could turn into something more. It was reported in July of 2010 that Kim and Miles Austin looked pretty happy together. They were canoodling all night. He's a pretty shy and low-key guy, so he's perfect for her. Which sounded promising, but of course, the relationship was not meant to last. And whatever it was, it would fizzle by September, leading newspapers to report that they are not getting back together, they are just friends. And sometimes, that's just the way it ends. And last but not least, it was reported in October of 2010 that serial celebrity dater John Mayer had his eye on the curvy Kim Kardashian, referencing a night out that the pair had with friends to see if they would hit it off. It was reported that the two of them had been on several dates by themselves after the group situation, but clearly nothing came out of that outing, because by May of 2019, John was denying any reports that he was dating Kourtney Kardashian. It's no surprise though, considering the singer is a bit of a playboy. His reputation as a womanizer definitely precedes him, especially with Jessica Simpson. So that couple dated for a year, but they broke up like several times throughout the relationship. In fact, sources close to the couple told People that things were always on and off between the pair, and they had arguments constantly. Unfortunately, 2006 marked the year that they split for good. The couple was on vacation in Mexico when photos of them arguing in the balcony of their room hit the papers. Jessica looked like she was in tears, as it was undoubtedly a breakup. The news of their split came out shortly after the photos were released, meaning there's a good chance that the paparazzi actually captured the moment when Jessica and John called things off.
Starting off, we have the Taylor Swift phone call. One of the most iconic VMA moments to ever happen was in 2009 when Taylor Swift was accepting her VMA for Best Female Video. Suddenly, in the middle of her speech, Kanye West stormed the stage and took the microphone from her and said the infamous line, "Yo Taylor, I'm really happy for you, I'ma let you finish, but Beyonce has one of the best videos of all time." Now this created a feud, and it appeared that the pair had seemingly made up in 2015 after being seen together at an award show and posting on social media, but that changed in 2016. Kanye dropped his song Famous, which had the line, "I me and Taylor might still have why I made that be famous." Now he claimed that he had Taylor's permission, which she denied. However, Kim stepped in to defend her then husband, saying that Taylor totally approved that, and then went a step further by releasing a video of a phone call between Taylor and Kanye in which you can hear them discussing the song in question. Kim then made the internet turn against Taylor and had people flood Taylor's comments with snake emojis. Taylor then went into hiding, but in 2020 it was revealed that the video Kim Kim had posted was edited. Taylor then broke her silence about the video through an Instagram story where she lightly shaded Kim by writing that she was telling the truth the whole time and that somebody, aka Kim, edited and manipulated it to frame her. Since then, a lot of people have turned on Kim and Kanye and they hate them for trying to frame Taylor. Next up is her robbery. In October 2016, Kim was robbed at weapon point in her Paris hotel room, with around $10 million worth of jewelry being taken. Kim had been staying at the Hotel de Portels for Paris Fashion Week when the masked men broke in. They tied her up and duct taped her mouth and eyes shut. Then, during a sit-down interview with David Letterman in 2020, Kim described the evening as 7 or 8 minutes of torture. Thankfully, Kim did not sustain any physical injuries during the heist, but she was left mentally scarred by the ordeal and had flashbacks and anxiety attacks. It was later revealed that the intruders, a group of men in their 60s and 70s, had been planning the burglary for 2 years before the attack and had used her social media pages to organize the heist in its entirety. French police said that Kim's use of Snapchat may have alerted the robbers to the jewelry that she had with her in Paris, as well as the fact that she was in her hotel room alone. Then there's Kanye harassing her. So we all know that Kim harassed Taylor Swift, but Kanye West ended up harassing her, giving her a taste of her own medicine. On February 7th, 2022, Pete Davidson publicly called Kim his girlfriend for the first time in a video interview with People. "I either just hang with my friends or chill with my girlfriend inside," he casually told the outlet. Then they became more public with their relationship, but in August 2022 they broke up. According to E! News, who first broke the story, the pair's busy work schedules and being long distance contributed to their decision to part ways. Now, part of this breakup probably though had to do with Kanye. It seemed like Kanye was obsessed with this couple. Kanye wrote a song about Pete and how much he hates him, and in the music video he literally ended Pete's life. He bullied Pete all over the internet and went on tangent after tangent on social media about Kim, often leaving her in tears. Now let's talk about North West. Kim's first child, North West, sure is something. She's pretty much a copy of her father, Kanye West. Kim has shed light on North's outgoing personality and admitted that she takes after her father, who is certainly no stranger when it comes to pushing boundaries. Kim said, "Absolutely, I mean North West is Kanye West's daughter. Forget that, she's his twin. She's blunt with her mother, telling her when her outfit looks bad, and she tells people her mom's secrets." Now, when speaking about North on her show, Kim said, "North is really special and smart and creative and definitely beats to her own drum. Her personality is really silly." She continued by saying, "Courtney always says that North is my lesson on this planet. It means I'm supposed to learn more patience. She teaches me patience. She has taught me a lot about life." Now it seems like North could be her karma. Moving on to her rough pregnancies. Kim has 4 children, but she only gave birth to 2 of them because of her rough pregnancies. For her last 2 children, she ended up getting a surrogate because it was too dangerous for her. During her second birth, she suffered from placenta erecta, the same condition she experienced with her first pregnancy with daughter North. Now, the reality star opened up about her past pregnancy complications in a post on her website when discussing her concerns about childbirth the second time around. She said, "I was able to get pregnant through that with my son Saint, and then I had 2 embryos left. I had the same condition, same awful delivery that I had with my first daughter," she said in the video. "After that, I had to have 5 different operations within a year and a half to fix the damage that all that did on the inside." Now, both children she birthed were happy and healthy though, and going for a surrogate for the next 2 was probably a good idea. Then there's being called out for Photoshop. Kim has been called out for photoshopping her photos for years now. Now, one of the most shocking times was when she photoshopped photos of her own daughter and nieces, which is just crazy. But some fans were able to spot photos where she removed entire body parts from herself. In August 2022, Kim promoted her collaboration with Beats by Dre with photos and videos of herself enjoying some pool time, but eagle-eyed TikTok users noticed that the reality star appeared to edit out her trapezius muscles. Kim K is notorious for photoshopping out her traps, the user Caroline began in a video. Why, I don't know, maybe it makes her neck look smaller. In January 2022, Kim posted photos from her Skims swim collection photo shoot, only for fans to immediately notice that her leg appeared warped and featured a curve behind her knee. "Kim, what happened to your leg?" one fan commented, while another hinted on Twitter, "Kim, your right leg is..." The reality star was quick to delete and then repost the photo without the error, but her followers were quick to take screenshots of the mishap. Now let's talk about the fake flower. In 2012, Kim created a new fragrance and had a launch party for it, but things didn't go as planned. Someone unleashed a flower bomb on Kim, ruining her outfit and yelling what sounded like "lousy fur hag." Now, at the time of the attack, it was speculated that a PETA activist had thrown the flower, as the organization previously condemned Kim's former love of real fur. But recently, Kim's former media strategist claims that her infamous 2012 flower bomb attack was actually a manufactured media moment. A PR professional who worked with Kim starting around 2005 claimed that the incident was an inside job, according to the British Channel 4 documentary, The Kardashians' Billion-Dollar Dynasty. Now, sources close to the situation told the Post that Kim was never aware of the move and placed the blame on PETA, the animal rights organization that was originally speculated to be behind the incident. But it wouldn't surprise me if she was behind this, as her career was just starting out and it would give her more media coverage. On to the Met Gala dress drama. When Kim arrived at the 2022 Met Gala in the Marilyn Monroe dress, she revealed that she had to lose 16 pounds in 3 weeks in order to fit into the gown. Now, following this, many slammed Kim for appearing to promote a toxic and dangerous mindset about body image and weight loss. Now, in Kim's defense though, her trainer maintained that she lost the weight in a healthy way. All of this though got covered up with another scandal, as it was claimed that Kim actually damaged and ripped the real Marilyn Monroe dress. She denied it, but a Monroe collector is claiming that the dress has sustained permanent damages as a result, and frustrations have been renewed. Scott Fortner, a collector who works to authenticate and verify Monroe memorabilia, shared photos of the dress that were taken after the Met that appear to show stretched and buckling fabric, along with missing crystals or ones left hanging by a thread. Up next is being kicked off the stage by Prince. On Prince's Welcome to Tour, which saw the legendary artist perform over 80 shows from 2010 to 2012, he traveled across North America and cemented his legacy with a series of critically acclaimed shows. Now, on the final night of his Madison Square Garden residency, Prince hunted for someone in the star-studded front rows to join him on stage. He then spotted Kim and asked her to join him on stage, and he immediately began dancing around her. Now, for those of you who don't know, Kim hates dancing, so why she agreed to go on stage, I don't know. She laughed nervously while standing in place and clapping for him before Prince instructed her to get off my stage. Kim later discussed the incident during an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, when she told Ryan Seacrest, "I was just so nervous and I was just like laughing. To my defense, like, didn't Prince watch Dancing with the Stars? Like, I'm not a good dancer." Now, following this moment, Prince and Kim would never meet again. He never forgot her performance on stage with him, as he refused to take part in an episode of New Girl alongside members of her family, according to Zooey Deschanel. And finally, we have the diamond earring. In one of the most iconic scenes in Keeping Up with the Kardashians history, the family was vacationing in Bora Bora in 2011. Kim was with Chris Humphries at the time, and he threw her into the ocean while she was wearing her clothes. Kim then noticed that her $75,000 earrings she was wearing were no longer in her ears. She then begins to cry and turns hysterical. When her sister Kourtney finds out what happened, she iconically exclaims, "There's people that are dying, Kim." Now, Kim explained years later to People magazine why the earrings caused such a reaction. She said, "For years for my birthday, I buy myself a birthday present, and I had upgraded that pair of diamond studs. I worked really hard, I had just gotten them, and I didn't insure them. And imagine if you don't insure something and it's gone. I just threw the money away." Now, her little sister Kylie did find the earrings, but hopefully it put things into perspective for Kim.
At number 10, bribes. At this point, we all know that the Kardashians have a my way or the highway kind of attitude. They will get what they want by any means necessary, and we've seen this a few times over the Kardashians' respective careers, but one of the lesser known times that this sort of attitude came out was when Kris Jenner was trying to save her short-lived talk show. Mama Jenner dreamed of being a talk show host, but those dreams were sort of crushed when her talk show premiered in the summer of 2013. She got a series of reviews, and when she read them, she came across one that she really didn't like. One reviewer named Linda Stassi from the New York Post wrote a column about the show and called Kris a quote, demented Norma Desmond, end quote. Well, because Kris didn't like what Linda had wrote about her, she decided to send the writer a bribe of a dozen Magnolia cupcakes and a $325 sterling silver pen from Tiffany's, along with a note saying to write a better review next time. In the end though, this bribe didn't actually work because her show was cancelled not long after. At number 9, sweatshops. The Kardashians have faced backlash and scandal many times in the past, so really they're nothing new, but one of their more extreme scandals came from when one of their many clothing brands got exposed. In 2011, a Kardashian clothing brand came under fire after it was revealed that the garments were being produced by Chinese workers being paid 8 cents a day. Can you imagine these millionaires paying workers 8 cents? Insane, right? A non-profit organization called China Labor Watch, a group that fights sweatshops, released this information during investigation into the Kardashian brand. Of course, Mama Jenner came in and stepped in, and she claimed that they didn't know anything about that, going on to say, quote, "The factories are very well policed and meet factory standards," end quote. No one is talking about the factory standards, Kris. We're talking about basically not paying people for making clothes that you're about to sell for $100 a piece. That's the tea. Before we carry on dishing about the Kardashian secrets though, why not take a quick moment to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and while you're at it, maybe consider subscribing to the channel to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Kardashian divorce. Remember when Kim K was married to Kris Humphries? Yeah, that was kind of a blip in the Kardashian timeline, but hey, it still happened. They were only married for 72 days, but it was still messy, and their subsequent divorce was just as messy. The cameras for their show Keeping Up with the Kardashians showed off much of their tumultuous marriage, but the cameras were ultimately cut when it came to their divorce, but it wasn't for lack of trying. Kim wanted to film her goodbye call with Kris over Skype, where she was going to say her final farewells and tell him that she really loved him. But Kris saw right through Kim's attempt to get content out of their divorce and flat out refused, saying that he refused to ever be on another episode ever again. Honestly, I can't blame him for making that decision. At number 7, Nanny knows. The Kardashians have been exposed for a lot over the years by countless people. Honestly, this could be its own video in and of itself, if we haven't already done that. Anyways, one of the people that joined the Exposing the Kardashians club was the family's former nanny. The nanny, a woman named Pam Behan, exposed Kris for her parenting. Although Kris looks like a cool, fun mom, almost acting like one of the Kardashian sisters rather than a parent, according to the nanny, that is all a charade and couldn't be farther from the truth. Turns out that Kris was actually a really mean mom. She said that all of the girls were really shallow and even exposed Kris for being mean to Khloe and criticizing her for being overweight. On top of that, according to the nanny, Kris was also a stickler for healthy foods, saying that she was obsessed with keeping produce in the house, and she even exposed her for having a meltdown when she forgot to pick up broccoli. Now that is a very different side of Kris Jenner that we never get to see. At number 6, private investigator. Back to past Kardashian relationships, remember when Khloe Kardashian and Lamar Odom were a thing? Yeah, super messy, as most Kardashian marriages tend to be, but this one was ultra messy because it turns out that at one point, Khloe hired a private investigator to follow Lamar around to watch if he was cheating on Khloe. This was something that we didn't get to see on the family's reality show, but apparently the private investigator was hired to catch Lamar with at least 5 different mistresses. But why put all this effort into a supposed cheater? Well, it turns out that there was a specific clause in their prenuptial agreement that if one of them was caught cheating, then the divorce settlement payout would be larger to the other party. This means that with the help of her private investigator, Khloe would be able to get a higher settlement in the divorce. The things people do for money. At number 5, who started the show? The family's reality show Keeping Up with the Kardashians has been on air for so long that it almost feels like it has been on TV forever. Obviously, it wasn't actually on TV since like the beginning of time, but it was certainly a staple in a lot of people's homes. This show really boosted the careers of all of the Kardashians, but who had the original idea for the show? Well, that's up for debate. According to Caitlyn Jenner, she wrote in her book that she was the one who came up with the initial idea for the reality show, not Kris, as many were led to believe. In the memoir, Caitlyn wrote that she told Kris about her idea for the show, saying, quote, "The house is awash in puberty and adolescence and young adulthood, and 2 parents with very different styles. It seems to me something is there for television," end quote. She then goes on to say that Kris then claimed to have come up with the idea for the show and then took it upon herself to pitch the show to Ryan Seacrest and the rest is history. Talk about starting things off on a sour note. At number 4, always perfect. Kylie and Kendall Jenner are the babies of the Kardashian Jenner clan, and they were pretty young when they started to rise to fame. Because the cameras were always on them, and because they were starting to gain notoriety on their own, their mom Kris decided that they needed to look perfect at all times to make themselves and the family look better in the eyes of the media. In an interview with Cosmopolitan in 2017, Kylie opened up about this dynamic in her young life and revealed that Kris Jenner had nail techs come to the house every week to do the girls' nails to make sure that they looked as perfect as possible. Kylie said that because this was ingrained in her from such a young age, that this just became a habit of hers even going into her adult life, which is why we see Kylie flexing her new nails on the gram. In the interview, she went into further detail about having to look put together all the time, where she said, quote, "My mom would make us do it. She would have a nail artist come to the house once a week. She would make us get our nails done. She was like, you are never going to look like you're not put together, so we're always getting them done." End quote. At number 3, fake homes. You know how on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, when they start a new scene in a new place, they show the front of the person's house? Well, it turns out that's kind of a lie. The houses that they show in the reality show aren't actually the Kardashians' real houses. In the beginning, they used to show the front of the Kardashians' houses, but soon it became a safety issue as it made it easy for people to find them. Kim opened up about why they decided to use fake houses instead of their real exteriors, saying, quote, "My old home in Beverly Hills was really my home, and I would get people showing up at all hours ringing my gate, and I had to call the police on several occasions. People hopping the gate and scaring me. It was so unsafe. The Hollywood Star Tours would stop by too because they recognized my home from our show. After that, we realized how unsafe it was to show the exterior of our homes, so now we use different homes for the outside for security purposes." Though they do use different homes as the exterior shots, Kim did confirm that they do actually film inside of their real houses. At number 2, original goal. Keeping Up with the Kardashians became a mega hit where people just tuned in to watch the drama unfold with the Kardashians. I would be lying if I said that this show wasn't secretly my guilty pleasure. It's just so chaotic and I love it. But it turns out that the original purpose for the show wasn't just to simply keep up with the Kardashians. They had ulterior motives. According to Mama Kris Jenner, the original purpose for the show was to bring attention to the Kardashians' clothing stores Dash and Smoosh. Their store Dash became the focal point for their reality show spin-offs like Kourtney and Khloe Take Miami and Dash Dolls. During an interview with Variety in 2015, Kim shared how they wanted to use the show to grow their business, saying, quote, "When the opportunity for our TV show came about, I wanted to do it to bring attention to our stores. I was thinking this might not last very long, but will grow a great business and expand online. I thought it would be great press. I didn't think it would turn into what it turned into." End quote. Their stores ended up closing in 2018, but at that point they had so many other things going on and the show wasn't even boosting their business anymore, so really, who cares? And finally, at number 1, new phones. Even a pandemic can't stop the Kardashians from creating content. The 19th season of the reality show was filmed over the course of the lockdown, and it was all done from the inside of the Kardashians' mansions. How they managed to pull all of this off is a little crazy though. Because camera crews weren't considered to be essential workers during California's stay-at-home orders, the Kardashians had to get creative, and so they created a system where every week someone would bring them a new iPhone to film on. They had proper sets built in Kim and Khloe's homes with lighting and the whole 9 yards for their confessionals, but yeah, I still can't get past the iPhone thing. Apparently, a showrunner wearing head-to-toe protective gear would come to the Kardashians' home on Monday morning to bring them a brand new iPhone to start the next cycle of filming. These Kardashians are so crazy.